So a local judge could be out of jail tonight depending on how quickly he can post bond. You might remember District Court Judge Guy Williams has been locked up for 19 days after his arrest for allegedly driving while intoxicated and unlawful carrying of a weapon. Our Rudy Trevino was in court for today's proceedings. Rudy.
McKenzie, the hearing presided over by visiting Judge Sid Harley on a request by Judge Guy Williams to be released from jail until he goes to trial on a series of misdemeanor charges. Wearing the typical orange Nueces County jail garb, Judge Guy Williams was escorted down the block-long walkway beneath the courthouse, leading to the courtroom 4 floors above.
My client has probably made some poor choices, but I don't think he's done anything that's actively harmed anybody or done anything.
The prosecutor with the Attorney General's office asked the judge to order Williams to wear a GPS monitor and not to drink alcohol if released. Judge Williams was given the opportunity to address the court concerning the AG's request for treatment.
Your Honor, my first treatment at Warriors Court addressed alcohol addiction. It was a 12-step program for Alcoholics Anonymous. My problem is not addiction, it's PTSD.
He doesn't have a substance addiction or anything of that nature. He just uses things as coping mechanisms, which are bad choices. But he wants to get some assistance. He's going to get some assistance because he wants to.
In May, Judge Williams was arrested for suspicion of public intoxication and resisting arrest after the car he was in was involved in an accident. Then earlier this month, he was arrested for allegedly being under the influence of alcohol while driving his car through a Southside apartment complex. He also had 3 loaded firearms in his possession. His attorney told the court the judge was attempting to recover some stolen items. McKenzie?
Okay, thank you, Rudy.